Hello, everyone. Welcome to Invitation to a Conversation. I'm Pamela Bailey. This segment is called Headline News in a Conversation. This morning, I have with me Marcus Arbery. And the headline news that we are discussing is the new motion that the lawyers have put out for Travis McMichael and Gregory McMichaels of wanting to be acquitted of their federal trials. Their federal convictions. Good morning, Mr. Arbery. How you doing? Good to see you again.
I'm doing good. Good to see you too, Miss Bailey.
Yes, good to see you. Now, when you first saw the article in the newspaper yesterday about the motions the lawyers are putting out for the McMichaels to be acquitted of the federal hate crimes, what did you think?
They done lost their mind.
What do you think is going on in the minds of the McMichaels right now being incarcerated?
They losing their mind. That's what's going on in their mind. The evidence and the world already seen all the evidence pointing against y'all with that racial hate. So they losing their mind now.
And one of the things that stuck out to me is the lawyers are trying to make a case about the street not being a public street. What is that all about? Is this a new thing that they want to put in cases now about where the person got killed, whether it was public or a private street?
That's crazy. You know what? The lawyers just as local as they is. I'm telling you, I ain't lying.
Well, we don't know whether the lawyers are doing this pro bono or getting paid, but I tell you what, whatever the Michaels asked them to do, they're doing it. And then they went back as far as saying that the developers offered to dedicate to Still Ashore to the county. So they're saying that Ahmaud didn't get killed on a public street. What do you have to say about that?
These people done lost their mind. Where he got killed in their yard? We see them laying in the streets.
Right.
That's where that racial son of his shot him at. Right in the streets.
A street that everybody can walk and everybody can drive down. So that's considered public.
There you go.
And the other thing that was said in the motion was that the prosecutor failed to prove he was killed on a public street. Do you think that was something that the prosecutor should have been trying to prove?
I gotta laugh at all that crazy stuff. And that's ain't it. Who God? She really had to prove that because the evidence and the tape showed everything that she needed to see.
I would say, like everybody says, that by that video coming out, it was an open and shut case.
Yes. I don't know why it was a trial anyhow.
It was an open, and plus, the federal civil rights law says that the federal civil rights laws prohibits the willful harm or intimidation of people in public spaces based on their race. And so one thing that the federal hate crime brought out were specific words, specific racist words, offensive words, unhuman words that were used towards Black people. How did you feel when you heard those words? Because we know racism exists. And we know that we are called names behind our backs, but to actually see those words in text messages or hear them in phone conversations, how did that make you feel?
I wasn't surprised. All you got to do is take a look at them people and you can see that they hated all Black people. Those three men, all you have to do is look at them. You know, when I looked at them, man, you know what I'm saying? When God give you a spirit about a person, you already know what that spirit is. So I wasn't surprised about all that race and hate that McMichael family. Because one thing about that boy, he was raised up in it. His dad learned it, mama learned it. It all come through that family, the grandparent. So that's all he knows. So they hate Black people.
And one of the things that stuck in my mind was that Travis said that he was glad of the job that he had because he didn't have to work around us.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
zero
saying?
niggers. That's what he
Yeah.
said, zero niggers. Yep.
Yeah. And then one of the explicit phrases was, after your son was laying in the street dying.
He used the N-word.
Yes. Yes. So they're being hypocritical about these motions. What do you think what their mindset is now? Do you think they're just not feeling their permanent residence now, and that they are being faced with seeing a large population of African Americans in one spot, and there's no way that they can get around it?
That's right. Oh God, I tell you, I never seen. I'm gonna just tell you the truth, my baby. I know Rachel was here, but I just never knew it was that deep, like those McMichael people. Those McMichael people, they were some deep racial people. And you know, if I'd have known that when my child way out there running and working on and stuff like that, there, you think I'd have been way out of town working? I'd have been right up under him every second.
I mean, because there's a phrase that says, I'd rather know how a person feels about me, because then I'll know how to accept them when I'm around them.
Right.
But when it's hidden like this, and you're working with people every day, I mean, you shop in their stores, you work with them, you socialize with them, and to see this in words that they are our civic leaders or our policemen or firemen, and they have to save lives.
Right.
I mean, Travis was a Coast Guard, was he not?
Yes, he was. And you got to think how many black people you let drown. Because when you hate black people that much, you think you're going to save their life? Come on, keep it real.
Yes. So, and so let's move along. And one of the things that is out now, I read last night, is that Gregory McMichael is turning against his
own son,
and Roddy Williams. He's saying that when we listen to the videos, we don't hear his voice. We just hear his son and Roddy Williams. What do you think about that?
A coward move. You the one allowed your son on this hate. Now you selling him out, your own son. You the one told him to grab that gun and run behind and kill my son. Now you owe some racism. Now you selling him out. What kind of man you is? But I already know all three of y'all was cowards anyhow. Because anytime you got a boy 25 years old and all three of y'all had guns, y'all couldn't whip him, all three of y'all. So already let me know where y'all was at. Cowards. Now it's showing now. But man up to it. Go in that prison. When you tough and bad, you go in them jail, you have your business. Why you cowering out now trying to sell your son out because you don't want to go in that prison now? That's what I can't understand. You were bad out here on these streets with Jackie Johnson backing you up with all that corruption. The county police got your back with all their corruption. You rough then. But now it's time to man up. They done left you all by yourself. You can't man up now. So you're a coward.
And if anybody would turn against anybody, it should be his son turning against his daddy for asking him to go get his gun.
There you go.
Know what I'm saying? Because
that's right.
If his father didn't ask him to go get that son, Travis would have still been in his house playing with his little boy.
Yes.
And their life would have been going on. But he was obedient to what his father said.
Yes.
And now his father wants to distance himself and be charged because he didn't use racial words in those videos that we heard. Really?
But where you think he learned it from?
Exactly.
All right. Come on, anybody, or it don't take a rocket science to figure that one out. Whatever you stirring your kids, that's what they're gonna do.
So, Mr. Arbery, let me ask you some questions because we haven't talked since the federal hate trial came out. How did that trial go to you? How did you feel walking into that trial and how it ended? How did you feel?
First, it was it was the way things went. We just, me and the mama had to put our foot down and let them know we want this federal trial to go forward, because anytime you get defendants trying to plead to something, it's something trying to benefit them. So I applaud for her sticking with me and her sticking together, let the world see this federal trial go forward, so you really can see what these people really done. The world really need to see that. So I was so glad the world really see what kind of people you got living around here in these neighborhoods. It's plenty more like that though, but we got to flush them out.
Oh yeah, oh yes. And did the Department of Justice actually tell y'all that they weren't going to do a plea bargain, or was that a blindsided act that they did that y'all wasn't aware that they were going to do?
There was a blindsided act me and her didn't know nothing about. Me and her did not know nothing about no plea for no Michael, because I just wasn't going for it. Because if you'd have gave him a plea, he'd have been living today. So why should me and her have to do anything to make y'all comfortable? Y'all ain't made him comfortable. He dead, he not coming back. So I want y'all accountability to full of the law for what y'all done to him.
And then Travis McMichael was kind of arrogant once again, because he said that if the judge accepts his plea bargain, that he will plead guilty to the hate crime, to being of the racist hate crime. Did he not say that?
Yes, but he was trying to benefit him and his daddy.
They weren't
going fast first.
And then once the judge didn't accept the plea bargain, he rescinded and took back his words.
Yes.
You know, so that's why I can't understand now they want to be acquitted of the hate crime that he pleaded guilty to, So where do we go from here? And is there anything else coming up in the near future that has to do with this trial?
Only thing I'm waiting on is the federal sentencing.
Okay.
When they get sentenced in the feds.
Is that anytime soon?
What I'm hearing is supposed to be next month.
Next month. Okay. And where is the justice system at in charging the other people that was affiliated with the death of Ahmaud Arbery, like Jackie Johnson, Barnhill, and the police officers that were involved?
I'm hearing they got they working with that now. Her trial's supposed to be coming up next month.
Jackie Johnson's trial is coming up in April.
Unless something changed, stuff always a change though. But we're not letting her get away neither. And you got a lot of that county police was on that corruption too. Like that detective Larry, that detective kept telling us all them lies. Every time we went in there and see him, he kept telling me my brother lied. He told the mom a bunch of lies. And then he got the place he was lying so much he didn't even want to even talk to us no more. Start hiding from him. So he need to be dealt with too.
Well, Mr. Arbery, now tell me, how was your trip to Selma, Alabama?
Oh, it was nice.
Was that part of a healing thing, or was that a significant? How did that travel come about?
It was sweet but sad, because you think about how your kid lost his life and all the people before him lost their life, and then there's a man came up to me and told me his dad got lynched about the same way my son got lynched. So it was just sad moments, when you think about that stuff, all this hate and racism like that, then why people hate Black people so much like that, and they just kill you like that. It's just a sad thing to me. I cry for all of them. I cry for all the people before him, my son. I just cried. It just hurt my heart to have people living in our society with all that hate like that. And you know what I'm saying? They think they're supposed to live around us like this, and they hate us that bad like that. It's a sad thing.
And the thing about it is, and if you don't like a particular race, why hire us to do certain jobs?
Come on, come on.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand well what you're saying.
You had the movie like The Help, and we working in the kitchen with their food. You know,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
we couldn't trust anybody else. If we couldn't trust nobody, the first thing we're going to do is we're not going to eat their food. Okay.
That's right. That's right. But see, we really not that evil like most of those racial white people like that. We don't have that evil spirit like that.
Mm-hmm. 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 I had Judge Douglas on for Black History Month last month, and he said something to me during the conversation. And he said when he was coming up, that all the Black folks knew that they had to leave the South and go up north and get an education. I'm not saying exactly what he said, but similar to what he said. And he said when he got up north that he didn't know that racism up north was like it was down south. But the only difference about the north is they don't march it, they don't say it, and they don't show it, you know. And but when down south, it's all over the place, you know. And so that was one of the things that I remember as growing up in Philadelphia is racism is there, but they hire you for the work that you're going to do and the job that's going to get done.
That's right.
And they don't complain in your face, you know, calling you names. They might talk about it at happy hours, at the water cooler or whatever, but it's very, very low key, which down here is loud, it's bold, it's brazen, open. It's open. And he said, so he decided to come back down this way because he found out racism was everywhere, you know.
Yeah, and the baddest thing about it when it's in our law enforcement.
Yeah,
that's the baddest thing about it. The people we pay their salary to, our tax dollars. You swear on the oath to serve them and protect. That's mean you supposed to be saving my life, not coming to kill me. That's where it's bad at. That's why we got to clean that mess up. That's why I urge all our Black people, get out and vote. If they ain't right in these offices, vote them out of there. Get the people in there that going straight by the book. Ain't looking at color.
And this lesson, and this unfortunate lesson has taught us why we need to get out there and
there
vote.
You go. Yes.
You know?
Yes.
And locally, because if you start voting locally, you can follow, I always say this, you can follow that person up the chain of command if they want to stay in politics. Because if they started locally like that, then they can go to state, and then they can go to federal, and they'll have that same attitude, you know, and same regard for other people all the way up to the higher rank, you know. And so,
Now, Ziva never changed this right. Care how much you feel.
That's right. That's right. That's right. So that's right. So, Mr. Arbery, I think that one day we're going to look back on this. It's going to always be a part of history because, and Brunswick, Georgia is going to always be remembered. What was the one thing that you will remember about Selma, Alabama?
All them people that shedded blood for a good cause. Those people did not, but just trying to march and make it equal for us. You know what I'm saying? Where we can be able to vote and get the equal serving under the sky like everybody do. And you know what I'm saying? They shed blood and they died for us. That's the most thing I'll never forget about Selma.
And just imagine you walked across that bridge where Martin Luther King walked, where Coretta Scott King walked, Andrew Jackson walked, Jesse Jackson walked, Harry Bell. All that is one day I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna get there one day. Well, Mr. Arbery, is there anything else you would like to say before we sign off on this headline conversation?
I just want to say we just got to keep on fighting because racism is deep. You know, and I looked at, when I went through that trial, you had a lot of them racial people, Travis McMichael and the daddy was texting to. We don't even know who they is.
Yep. Exactly.
That let you know, it's plenty of them still out there.
Oh, you know what? Every time you come on this show, you give me food for thought, because the last time you were on there, we talked about Travis' job as a Coast Guard. And you said, as long as he'd been a Coast Guard, how many Black lives did he not save?
Come on.
You know, and
That's right.
now what you just said, they had many telephone calls and text messages across the years of other people that felt like they did. You understand
Right.
what I'm saying?
That's
And
right.
they're still out here because they
Yes.
didn't do such a egregious, crime, but they're
Right.
out there,
Yes, and the first chance they get, they would do something like that too.
Hmm.
If they feel they can get away with it. We don't know who
Well,
they is.
I just hope and I pray that this conviction was a life lesson.
Thank you.
Anybody in the future that think they can get away with this, you know
Thank
what I'm saying? Because recently there was a case, did you hear about the case in Mississippi where the guy was a UPS driver?
Yeah, and the dad and the son shot at him.
Yes, and thank
Yeah.
God he got away from it. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? He said he got out the vehicle and the man was standing in the middle of the street with a gun and his son had one. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. And then for his boss to ask him to go back to the same place the next day.
Yeah. He ain't care nothing about his life.
I surely didn't. And I'm so glad that that young man was smart enough to say, hey, I'm not going back there. I'm not going back there. So it's unfortunate that a tragedy had to happen for us to understand why we need to vote, why we need to protest,
Yeah.
and how we can protest non-violently, okay?
Yeah.
And still be heard and still get justice. But you have to do the work. And I'm proud to say that you all did the work and everybody else did the work. Theo Wanza Brooks did the work. Transformative Justice did the work. Anybody who was involved in getting these convictions, Wanda Cooper got, all of y'all did an excellent job. And I just hope that this is a template of going forward, that we are people too,
That's right.
And this was a small mirror. This was just a small light in the mirror of what we've been yelling all of these years.
Yes, and you know what, Ms. Bailey, I think about the people that didn't get justice, been killed wrongly. Just because you was Black. That thing bothered me so bad.
Yeah.
That's why we got to get these people out there, law system, these judges and stuff that don't want to convict. And that part of the woman 2 years for killing that right boy.
Yeah.
That's not right.
Yeah.
That didn't know exactly what she was doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And 2 years, that's a slap in that family face.
Yes. Yes.
Lord,
yes.
You get these boys, you caught one piece of dope, 230 years. Yeah. Ain't killed nobody.
Yeah. Yeah. And and when you said that, I thought about Trayvon Martin. Yeah. I thought about Michael Brown. I thought about Eric Sterling. I mean, Sandra Bland.
Yeah. Breonna Taylor.
Yes, it's Tamar Rice. I mean, we can go down the list.
Keep going. You can just keep going.
That didn't get justice.
Didn't get justice. Yeah. And this stuff been going on, what, 500, 400 years?
Oh, yes.
Emmett Till.
Yes. Yes.
Come on, it's got to stop.
Yes. Well, right now, I don't know if you know the story about Forsyth, Georgia, but I'm going to try and bring that series here. Forsyth, Georgia is an hour away from Atlanta, Georgia. And it's a book out called Blood at the Root. And it's a whole story about a subdivision where white people lived, Black people worked in that subdivision for white people, but lived on the outside. And before the Klan was called the Klan, they were called the Night Riders. And what they would do was walk the perimeter of their subdivision. And if they seen any Black person, man, woman, young adult walking, they never made it to wherever they were going. And so now that story is being rised up. We have a story. Yes. Yes. Yes.
But you got to look at them, and baby, they ain't coming in the cakes no more because they know that cake stick out like a sore thumb. I'm keeping it
Yes.
real. They coming in the badges. They
Oh,
coming
yeah.
in your jury pit. They coming in your police force. They
Yes.
coming in your doctor office. They coming in your banks.
They come in as judges.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. That's their way of
Lawyers.
keeping it put on our neck.
They come in
Yes.
as lawyers. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yep, they going to school to be on your case.
Yes.
Look at
Yes.
this family just gave this lawyer out that one, Carolina, all this money to white lawyers. And did nothing for them, helping their son, took their money. Now they fighting trying to get their money back. I'm telling you, they going to school to get educated where you can keep you in the blind, where you can come think you can trust them. Which you can't trust them. I'm being real with it. You cannot trust them if they're on that racial thing. They're not gonna work hard for you. These are stuff you just got to know.
We are here, and I'm gonna use a slogan that is being used recently in another thing, but we are here to inform, to educate, and be actively engaged into what we can do to educate our children and our people. You know,
Yes.
Every generation has to learn. Every generation.
That's right. At least know.
Yes.
When you know how to deal with it. But when you blind to it, oh God, or blind eye never see what you need to see.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, have mercy.
Yes. Well, thank you, Mr. Arbery. And anytime you want to come on, just drop me a call and I drop you a call. And I guess you'll come back on after this sentencing to see how that goes. And anything you have in the future.
You know, anytime you need me to come on your show, all you got to do is holler. Because I know you bring that real stuff. And that's what we need. We can't keep hiding behind lies.
No.
What's going on right here for real?
Yes. Yes. Well, happy New Year.
And I ain't scared. Tell you.
Well, happy New Year's. You take care.
Yes, you too.
Okay. And I'll see you soon.
All right. God bless you too.
Thank you. And invitation to the conversation will be on again this Saturday. And my upcoming guest will be Ms. Brunelle Williams. Thank you and have a blessed day.